Hey guys, yes, I've got maggots, and I'm going to tell you the story when I return on the Eric McNeil Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, welcome to the Eric McNeil Be Free Show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others free. So, yes, I have maggots, and I am excited. Let me tell you the story here. So, these maggots aren't just any old maggots. It is the black soldier fly. So that is a totally different fly than the one that you're used to, which is the house fly. And if you don't know what black soldier flies are, then truly I don't know what you've been doing with your life, but I'm going to hip you to the game. A lot of times people ask me, who are looking at coming to Africa, moving to Ghana, and they talk about various business opportunities and things that they can do. So, you know, I'm going to give you this one because usually if they ask me, I can only offer so much information because I can offer it to the public basically for free. But, you know, if you're asking me to work with you, you know, one-on-one, then a cost comes with that. So every now and then I try to put a nugget out there that's just, you know, I put it out there for the public and it's for free, so you don't have to pay for this one. So this is one that I'm going to give you for free, right? So you can do with it as you please. But when we're talking about self-sufficiency, then you have to live within the means of nature. You have to use what nature has provided you with. And nature has provided us with one of the most amazing insects that is imaginable. And this insect is called the black soldier fly. The scientific name is Hermetia Illucens, or Hermetia Illucens, and we call it the black soldier fly, and you call it a maggot when you see it before it goes through its metamorphosis, right? So let me tell you about the black soldier fly and how it differs from the regular house fly that you're used to. First of all, the black soldier fly has a lifespan of approximately 45 days. The eggs, they stay in the egg state for approximately 4 days, and then they go through the larvae state, which is approximately 18 days while they eat, and then they go through a pupae state, approximately 14 days, and then they metamorphose into an actual fly, which they remain in that state for approximately 8 or 9 days. Now, let me tell you how it differs from that house fly. The house fly, it spread diseases, and it's really not a friend of ours that we can see. It has its benefits. It does pollinate, but it's really not the fly that you want to see around, right? Whereas the black soldier fly does not spread diseases. It does not bite in any kind of manner, and it actually helps to minimize the presence of the pesky housefly, right? So it's a friend of yours. Now, if you just see this black soldier fly around, you'd probably kill it because it looks similar to a wasp, and you would be thinking, well, that's gonna sting me. But in actuality, it doesn't sting, and you'll see me holding it later on through the video. But this black soldier fly is unique in that it is almost like God's last line of defense to help clean up his earth. And so what happens is that, let's assume that you have some decaying or rotting meat, because this black soldier fly has a voracious appetite, and it'll eat any type of organic matter as long as it is decaying matter. It will not eat anything that is not decaying. But once it begins to decay, it will show up and it will begin to eat it. Now, let's assume you have some decaying matter. Well, typically if you just throw the decaying matter out in, I don't know, the yard or something, the sun hits it and the dirt begins to react with it. So it begins to compost and turn back into the soil, right? But let's assume that it doesn't turn, it doesn't decompose back into the soil, or if it's in an area where there is no soil for it to decompose. Well, if it stays in that state for too long, then that's when the black soldier fly shows up, and it lays eggs in the organic matter that then turns into these maggots, and then they begin to eat the organic matter. And that can be any organic matter. It can be from, rotting meats and fish and fruits and vegetables, or even poop, right? So it can eat poop. Now, the interesting thing is that when it eats this organic matter, these maggots, they can eat like double their weight in a single day. So you just imagine a 150-pound person eating double their weight in a day. That's what, 300 pounds of food that they would be eating per day, and then these things eat for about 18 days, right? So they have a voracious appetite. And what you find now is that some places, some countries, you can do a search on like Google or go onto YouTube, and you see countries like in India that have waste treatment facilities that are based off the black soldier fly. So they have these waste treatment facilities where they bring in all of this this garbage and organic waste, and they breed black soldier flies, and the black soldier flies eat it, and they also harvest the eggs so they can make more black soldier flies. So it's a sustainable process that is very, very friendly to the environment, right? Right now, just think of how most countries around the world are handling this waste, and they're creating these huge expensive facilities and creating something that is harmful to the environment. It really doesn't help the environment much to try and deal with our waste, when in actuality God has a very, very clean design in helping to deal with the waste. And a part of that that system is the black soldier fly, if only we would use it. But if you look online, you can see how some innovators are now using this. And not only that, but you have places in like China now, they have huge facilities where they're doing nothing but harvesting black soldier fly eggs, and they're selling these black soldier fly eggs and the larvae around the world. So it's becoming a big business because people are recognizing the importance of this black soldier fly in helping to clean up our environment. And even in Ghana, I know at the Valley View University years back, maybe 2009, 10 or so, there was a group over there. They had a project where they created they had these toilets that was based off of using the solar to help decompose the fecal matter, and then they were using the black soldier flies to actually eat it. Very unique design, but I think that when the university went through a management change, they decided not to continue with with those toilets, so they didn't continue it. But at any rate, you can research some of that and see just how unique these black soldier flies are. So I'm going to take you over here and actually show you the black soldier fly larvae that's actually in my compost pile. Now, well, at first, I'm going to first show you something else, because I wanted to harvest the black soldier flies because one of the things that you'll see is that if you're trying to raise chickens, or if you're trying to do fish farming, one of the problems you have here, especially in Ghana, is that the feed is awful, it's cheap, and if you're feeding these animals poor feed, then you're going to have poor quality meat. So there's a huge problem in Ghana, especially, you know, we eat a lot of tilapia here. It's a big thing, but there's often you hear stories about the quality of the tilapia because of the feed and the conditions they're being raised in. Well, the black soldier fly is a game changer in that it offers quality protein to these animals. So if you're feeding these animals this black soldier fly, then you can offset the cost to actually provide food for them, because one of the things that a lot of the people farming the fish or raising chicken, you know, raising the poultry, is that they complain about the better quality feed is way too expensive. So that if you're harvesting black soldier flies yourself, then you can offset that bill drastically. So this is a way to offset it. So at the time that I was wanting to harvest the black soldier fly, I had chickens around here. I had maybe 20 to 30 chickens we had running around here, and I even noticed, you know, that it could get expensive to feed them if you're trying to feed them quality. So I wanted to offset that with the black soldier fly. So what we did is we had this built, and this is basically a black soldier fly harvester that we had built. And basically you see the holes here where the black soldier flies fly-ins are supposed to fly in, and then you feed it waste. You put the, you know, basically you put your waste scraps, and I still have them in here. And then at some point what happens is you have this little ramp when the maggots finish eating and they're getting ready, they want to chill out and they don't want to eat anymore, then they crawl up this ramp, and at the end, and they fall down here, and you're supposed to have a bucket down there, like you're supposed to have this little bucket in here that captures, right? It captures the pupae once they stop eating and they crawl up that ramp. So in this way you have a place where you can harvest the black soldier flies, and you can find the plans for this black soldier fly harvester on YouTube. It's fairly simple to make and design. So this is what I had designed, and I was like, yeah, we're gonna start harvesting some black soldier flies. And so I was all excited, and we started feeding this thing, but the black soldier flies didn't show up. And I was feeding it and feeding, you know, and I was like putting the waste in, and the black soldier flies still didn't show up. And I was like, where are the black soldier? Because I had seen the black soldier flies around here before, before I had this, and so I knew that they were around, but they didn't show up to my black soldier fly harvester. So then we went over to there's a place in Timma that is a French-owned company, I believe, called Cycle Farms, and they set up a huge operation here to harvest black soldier flies and turn it into fish feed. So they got a huge operation, and you know, they have their facilities out in Timma, and they have some facilities on the Volta. So we took a trip over there to their headquarters, and I wanted to see if they would sell me some of the black soldier fly eggs. And we spent, you know, maybe a couple hours out there trying to talk to different people and just convince them just to sell us, you know, some of the eggs so that we can use at home. And they eventually said no, they wouldn't sell us any of the eggs. You know, it's like, no, we can't sell any, can't give you none, can't blah blah blah, just leave. So I was like, man, come on. So at any rate, I had stopped feeding my harvest. I had stopped pouring garbage in it and basically just forgotten about it. And the interesting thing is that a few weeks ago, when the new owners of the home came here to visit, they came here to visit and they stayed. And so basically the husband, he was like, you know, we're gonna dig a compost pit so we can start throwing the scraps in. So we dug it, you know, we dug a compost pit and we're throwing our scraps in it, and they had left, and you know, I was still using the compost pit, just right in the garden. And I had noticed one day, probably about a week or so ago, that I came out and I had maggots, and I looked around and I also saw a black soldier fly nearby, and I was like, oh wow, the black soldier flies have shown up. So this is the compost pile, or the pit. Actually, it's a pit. And let's see if we can go in and see, so I can show you. And you see this, right? I have some banana scraps, and you see they're feasting on the banana scraps here. So there you go, right? So those are your, yes, so those are your larvae, or your maggots, right? Black soldier fly maggots. And they are plentiful. Like, you look over here, they're all over. Right, so if I was in the West before I came to Africa and was in my right state of mind, if I was in the West and I had seen this sight, I'd be like, ooh, we got maggots. What are we gonna do? Kill them, do it, light this, burn this up. Not realizing that this is one of the most beautiful sights you can imagine, because it's nature at work. Nature is dealing with, it's taking organic matter that you and I won't eat, that might be poisonous, that might be unhealthy, and it's turning it into perfectly beneficial protein that you can then feed your fish and your reptiles, or what have you, you know, your poultry. Yes, so you can even take fecal matter and turn it into protein, right? And if you are creative, then this is a business opportunity, if you understand that this is very, very valuable stuff, because it can be fed to the poultry, be fed to the fish. So it becomes very, very valuable. So I'm extremely excited. I'm extremely excited, and I couldn't be happier. So my maggots, they didn't show up in the harvester, but they showed up in the pit. You know, just a little small pit in the garden. And it's not big. I'm going to go back and I'll show you the pit. Like, it's not big. It's probably, I don't know, 2 feet by 4 feet little pit that's dug probably a foot deep. And we've just been throwing the food scraps here, right? So you have the maggots, and the ants have been coming in here, and I was wondering if the ants would, I don't know, destroy the maggots, but the maggots, they just keep going and going. You know, no matter how many ants come in there, the maggots are still doing their thing, you know. Now, I haven't had any of, like, you know, the soldier ants that come by and just, you know, and just carpet the place. You know, that might be a different story, but so far so good. They've been multiplying, you know. I may take some and put them in the harvester and see how they do there. But it seems the pit is the way to go, right? They've been multiplying very well. So I'm excited. Yes. So yeah. So I'm very excited today at having maggots, right? You may think that, hey, you know, that sounds gross, you know. Oh, he's got maggots, but I'm excited. You see that, right? When you're out of when you're not in your right state of mind, you know, they've tricked you into believing that things you should value are things you know, they have you believing that these things are gross, or these things you should stay away from because you've been watching TV. You know, we've been watching that idiot box, and the idiot box has deceived us, you know, and we don't realize that this is how nature works, and we should be implementing practices that coincide with nature and stop trying to build all these elaborate systems outside of nature, because sooner or later you know, nature's going to take over and destroy you if you're not living within the bounds of nature, right? You know, people talk about all of this climate change and all, you know, destroying the earth, but let me tell you something. You're not destroying the earth. The earth is getting ready to destroy you. The earth has been here all this time and is not going anywhere. But what's going to happen is it's going to spit you right out like a virus, right? If you don't live within nature. So the earth is just protecting itself, but it's not going anywhere. You are going somewhere though. So yeah, so that's why we try and live within the confines of nature and use the systems, right? So if you look online, look at some of the waste treatment, the black soldier fly waste treatment facilities, and see with various countries. I know in India I saw one. It's just absolutely you know, very, very exciting stuff, you know, that I'm seeing. So hopefully, you know, there's some places in Ghana where they are also heavily utilizing the black soldier fly now. So, you know, this is not something that has come on deaf ears. People are starting to recognize. And even beyond that, this black soldier fly larvae is also the future of food, right? Trying to farm these large animals is very costly, takes a lot of land, very expensive. So many places you see it now are beginning to farm insects. Believe it or not, yes, it's becoming a very big thing. So, you know, if you're creative and you understand this, then yes, like these protein powders, they're making them with various insects, crickets and grasshoppers, and yes, and that will include the black soldier fly. You take the larvae, you dry it out, and then you grind it up into a powder, you know, and it can be a flour, it can be just a protein powder you put in your smoothies. Excellent protein. I mean, so there's just so many benefits of this stuff. Like I say, you know, you see an insect and you're like, oh, I don't want to eat an insect, but let me tell you, I eat the termites, and that's another story that I'll tell, but I love them, absolutely love them, and they're healthy. So and like I say, the black soldier fly, it doesn't spread any diseases in its last 8 or 9 days after it turns into a fly. It doesn't sting and it doesn't bite. In fact, it doesn't even have a mouth. The adult black soldier fly does not have a mouth, so it doesn't eat in its last stages. The only thing it does is just kind of chill, and it mates, it lays eggs, and a single black soldier fly can lay like 500 eggs. So that's all it's here to do, is both, you know, it comes, it lays eggs, those eggs eat the garbage, then they transform and they metamorphose into a black soldier fly adult, and those adults mate and lay eggs. Both. That's it. So it comes here to clean up the earth, and that's its purpose. Very, very unique insect, and I couldn't be happier that I have me some black soldier flies, and I suggest you go out and get you some black soldier flies. So when people tell you, oh, I see these maggots, well, you should go out and try and get you some maggots also, and be happy, you know, that you have some maggots. Not the pesky housefly maggots, you don't want those, but you want the black soldier fly maggots. And the black soldier fly maggots, they create an environment that's difficult for the housefly maggots to breed in, so they minimize the population of houseflies. Okay, so they're just you know, good all around for the environment. So at any rate, hopefully you get something out of this. I'm gonna show a little footage where I actually also had one of these black soldier flies to land on me, and I'm gonna show you that footage. So this is the black soldier fly, my friends. This, and it doesn't bite, so it's crawling on me. I just caught this one, and it does not bite. Let's see if I can. So that is a black soldier fly. You see that? So it's only going to live in this stage for about 8 days before it dies. But once it turns it into the actual black soldier fly like this, it only has about 8 days to live. One of the most amazing insects on the planet, right here. How cool is that? Let's see. And I'm walking and it's not flying away. See, so it's just calm. It's not like your house fly that you're used to. See, it doesn't want to. See, he just wants to chill. He wants to, or she wants to chill So their last few days, they just want to chill out. They don't want to be disturbed. They don't want to do a lot of flying. They just want to chill and pass on peacefully. They don't go around biting. They don't spread diseases. They're not a nuisance. They actually help keep the pesky houseflies away. So they are actually an insecticide for your houseflies, right? So that is the black soldier fly in the full armor. So if you didn't know what this was and you saw it, you would think it was a wasp. And you would immediately kill it, right? Because you're like, hey, that thing's going to sting me. But you see, I've been holding it for quite a while and it hasn't stung me. It doesn't bite. It has no mouth. It doesn't eat at this stage. Isn't that amazing? So it comes here just to eat the garbage and clean up the earth, and then it dies, right? Comes here as a maggot and it cleans up, turns into an actual fly, it mates, produces eggs, and then it dies. Okay, he or she flew away. But, alright, so you saw that footage, and, okay, so anyway, if you're getting any value out of this, go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Like, share, comment. Let me know if you've seen this black soldier fly, if you're familiar with it, and what do you think about it. And you can follow me at facebook.com/Eric McNeil. It's free. And as always, hoorah, ahuru. Now be free.